throughout the nation and around the globe. From his heart to yours, it's Dear James Live, bringing you intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions.
Hello, everybody. We are so excited to have you join us once again for another episode of our fabulous show, the show that I co-host with the fabulous Dear James. I am the Lady Jaclyn, your human design expert, and Dear James is the intuitive genius fundi that brings his absolute fabulousness when he tunes in. Like, the energy here every Wednesday is so spectacular. Listen, it is the highlight of my day. I know, James, it's the highlight of your day. I know a lot of you have given comments to say that you love Wednesdays, and we are so excited to have you here. Every Wednesday, just quickly give you a recap, every Wednesdays we go live, we take your questions live as well, whether it be intuitive guidance that you're looking for or whether you're wanting to dive into a human design chart. And then remember, we also do look at the collective energy. And today we've got some really amazing, juicy stuff. I just know it. James, how are you doing?
Hello, Jaclyn. Yes, I mean, this is so wonderful to be together again. We love Wednesdays, and we love all of you joining us. So from around the globe, thank you for joining us. And as Jaclyn always says, don't forget to, as you're joining us live, please say hello and tell us where you're joining us from in the comments so that we see you. And of course, we are taking your questions live, so please put them into the comments as well. And yes, what an action-packed year. And we've just started. I mean, Jaclyn, we've just started. It's the third week in January, and here we are, and it's just like the energy is both prolific, I mean, it's just so energy intense, and yet also kind of like there's a lull. It's so strange, isn't it, right? There's this peace. There's this peace about intensity, energy, intensity, go, 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 go. And yet this kind of like soft lull, like a void, a lull, a void. And so it's very, Kathy is joining us from Clearwater, Florida. Yes.
And Lori is here from Illinois, and she's also glad to be here again for this wonderful Wednesday. Wonderful Wednesday. I think we should call it Wonderful Wednesday.
Right, Wonderful Wednesdays. They are wonderful. This is what's so great about this, is that we come together, we share intuitive insights and human design expertise. We talk to you all and share with you the energies that are going on, the weekly energies, the overall energies, some of the overall themes that are taking place. And then we answer your questions live. And so we listen and we address them from both an intuitive aspect and from a human design aspect. And just for everybody listening, remember, if you would like Jaclyn to answer a specific question for you, please submit your details, put them into the comments, so date, time, place of birth, so that if she doesn't already have your chart, she's able to pull up your human design chart and address that for you specifically. And then, as you all know, I listen to the unseen, to Spirit, Source, and Symphony, and we hear what the unseen has to say to you from a unseen perspective, from an intuitive perspective. So, should we jump in?
I kind of want to jump into the idea that you've already mentioned, which is this prolific energy, but then also a little bit of a lull. And that speaks so true, because in human design, we can see that we're still currently in the gate 60, and that gate 60 creates the 60 and 3 channel, and it's also known as like an avocado channel. So we all know about an avocado, right? So we buy the avocado, and then sometimes it's not ripe just yet. So we kind of have to wait. We wait, and then the avo is ripe, and we got to eat it. Because if you don't eat it when it's ripe, you've missed the opportunity, right? That's exactly the energy that we're in right now with the 60. So it's not right timing. It's that push, that energy. The energy is there. You're kind of wanting to get going. It's the new year as well. And also with human design, actually, the new cycle of the wheel actually starts in the next day or two, depending on where you are. So we actually start on the gate 41. So the new year for human design is only in 2 days' time, or in a day's time, right? Which is also interesting. So I can already feel the energy starting to shift. But just know that if things aren't quite yet sprouting this fruits or quite yet taking off the way that you want them to, it's also because it's not quite ready yet. It's not quite right? The universe has the plan. James always talks about it's the plan or a plan. It's our plan, but it's the plan. So if things are just taking a little bit longer than anticipated, just know that that's okay. You're in the right direction. Just continue to surrender and trust and release in the knowing that everything works out the way that it's supposed to. So that's the first thing that I wanted to mention. James, do you want to mention anything else?
Yes, it absolutely, and it's interesting because as you were speaking to that, it was the image of the cauldron. So I believe it's hexagram 50 in the I Ching, and the cauldron, which is of course the melting pot. And like anyone that ever cooks, a watched pot never boils. There's that idiom that the watched pot never boils. And of course, any great recipe, any great stew, soup, anything that you're doing like that, it's all about the right ingredients. It's about the right timing, and it's about the culmination of things. Because of course, if the fire is too hot, everything evaporates and burns and boils over and so forth. If the fire goes out, it doesn't cook, it's undercooked. It's this whole same analogy of kind of this action and lull. It's a very interesting, and the lull, they're reminding me to say that just because there's a lull feeling doesn't mean that you do nothing. Passivity in a sense can be active. It's actively listening. It's actively being attuned and in tune with your environment, what's happening with yourself. And so it's not about just sitting back and waiting, oh, it's not the right time. No, again, Wallace D. Wattles, small acts in great ways. What are we able to do in this moment? But sometimes the active piece is to wait, is to listen and to wait. And so that's very important, and that is not passive, it's an active action. It's participatory. So yes.
So I just want to see, because Nikki is joining us from the UK, and we have Judith as well from Massachusetts. And then just to quickly give you guys a heads up, because we still are in Mercury retrograde and we are taking the leap of faith, we know that Mercury sometimes does affect technology. So you got to bear with us, because I've been feeling all of the feels that Mercury has been giving us with technology and the fact that everything's a little bit slower and you've got to be more present. So just if anything does come up, please let us know in the comments. I know Nikki said that there is a bit of a freezing issue. Judith said it's fine on her. Oh no, she says she's also having some issues. She's got to go back in and out. So just bear with us, because everything, like we said, you know what? Right now, it's not a bad thing that Mercury is in retrograde, because it's really asking us to kind of just be present, take it slow, be in the moment, not get frustrated or reactive, but kind of just, roll with the times at the moment. So we're going to be rolling with this Mercury retrograde and the signal issues and everything that's going to come up.
Yes, and again, for everyone listening, Jaclyn and I can see that we're live and that we are not interrupted or lagging or anything. So there must obviously be, again, as we are streaming out to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, there may be some lagging issues or network issues that are happening because, again, as Jaclyn just articulated, Mercury is retrograde. Also, Uranus, the higher octave of Mercury, just stationed direct yesterday. And so all of these fun things, and in fact here yesterday, our internet connection went down for about 4 hours, and it would come up and go down and come up and go down. So there's a lot of that taking place. I'm going to jump in. Is that good, Jaclyn? Okay, so let's talk about what's happening right now. So at the first of the year, this is an action-packed week, and it's an action-packed month, and it's beginning this whole new cycle. And so we currently have Mercury retrograde until it was started on the 14th of January, and it's going to go until the 3rd of February. We just had the full moon in Cancer on the 17th. And Cancer, it's all about emotion and, full moons. The things that are hidden are being revealed or brought up for us to deal with. Uranus stationing direct yesterday. We had also yesterday afternoon, the north and the south nodes just changed signs. So they went from the Gemini Sagittarius axis. They're now, the north node is in Taurus, the south node is in Scorpio. And so that is going to be for the next 18 months. And that is something as well. So the north node is where we're going, and it's Taurus. So we're going to see more, it's going to be where it was in Gemini with air. So things were more mental or astral, mental. Now we're bringing them back down. We're bringing them back down into the earth so that we can actually ground these things and kind of take root with them and get going. And of course, Scorpio, things are hidden. So we're talking about the things, so these hidden things that we thought we had dealt with or haven't dealt with, those are going to be the aspects to release, because that's the south node. And the south node is all about how you release things, how you let go of, or what we're to let go of in order to advance. And then the last thing is that Venus is retrograde, and Venus goes direct on the 29th of January. So really by Jaclyn, by the 3rd, 4th, we're moving forward with a lot of things. So you can kind of see where we got this energy of wanting to go forward, wanting to advance, this whole kind of new year energy, this get going, get going, get going, and yet we have some lull, we have some, holding in place, we have some retrogrades. And this fits really beautifully with the way Spirit, Source, and Symphony, the unseen for me. Every time I sit down to listen for our Wednesdays, they always tell me what the collective needs. And this week, what's very interesting, and it's very interesting with Mercury retrograde and so forth, but there was this pressing of re, everything about Mercury retrograde is to relook, revisit, renew, put an RE in front of things. And so they were really pressing me to go back over and share with everyone that if you haven't listened to the first 2 shows of January, take a listen, but they're wanting me to reiterate and remind about the relationships at this point, 2022 and beyond, and certainly this year, and certainly as the nodes are changing, and certainly as Uranus is moving forward, it's going to start taking off, that relationships and our relationships with ourselves, relationship to what we thought, South Node, what we thought we had dealt with, whether it be, again, relationships, people, issues, love, all these different things, that they're going to come up. And they may come up, Uranus, they may come up unexpectedly, out of nowhere. And that there's a reminder here that 20 and 22, hexagram 20 is about contemplation. It's an overview. You in the tower, you have a high view, so you're going to have a more expansive view to deal with the relationship of yourself with others, and of course then externally with others, but the most important one is with self. And then 22, this adornment, that we are adorning, we are renewing, repairing, revitalizing, releasing these things inside, so that we adorn ourselves, our beings, from the inside out. Because the more beautiful we are, from the inside out, it radiates. It's what we share, it's what we reflect, it's what we, as Jaclyn would say, it's what we attract, the magnetism of things. And so everything is energy. So, and one of the things that they had shared last week that we didn't cover that goes in with this week is they said, reach beyond the veil. And what they mean by that is, we often think of the veil as the veil, we come into this lifetime and we're veiled. We can't see the other side. We can't see the unseen. But this has a double entendre about reaching beyond the veil. They're saying about reach beyond the veil of your own self-illusion. About reach further. See beyond the interactions. See beyond what's on the surface. Both within yourself or what you think you know or believe. Look at a situation. If it's an external exchange of relationship and you quote unquote see what's on the surface, but look below it. keep looking, reach beyond the veil. And then also reach beyond the veil in the sense of connect higher, your soul source connection. Connect and listen, because they are going to be guiding you. Because remember, 2022, you have a higher overview of things. So you're going to be able to advance faster and quicker. You're going to be able to release, move through, as long as you're aligned with that understanding, knowledge, connection. Then they came to, for today, for this week, they said, turning the page, ... on the past. And that this has to do with the north and the south nodes. And so there's this beautiful piece of realizing and knowing we are turning a page on the past. We're shifting into a new way to ground things, move things forward, manifest. And here we are again. Never fails, Jaclyn. We right in the middle. We get about X amount of minutes in, and it just drops us. And so everyone joining and listening, please place your show us in the comments that you're here and that you're joining and that you're back live with us. And if you posted a question in the comments, please bring them back on, post them again for us, and we'll continue. So it's about this turning the page on the past, and then the north and the south nodes. And the south node in Scorpio, all the hidden things, thank you, Jesse, for letting us know you're back, is about how. It's the how. So we're going to look at anything of those things that are hidden and everything, deal with them. Deal with them within yourself and deal with them with others. Then this was really interesting, Jaclyn. They talked about earmarks, and it was very funny because the page that I was writing on, the top two corners were kind of folded, and it's like when you read a book, and you might turn the page, the top corner down, and it was like that. And they said earmarks, one large, one not. And when you look up, and then it has to do with Uranus going direct. And they said, and the definition of an earmark is designating something for a particular purpose. And then I heard the word destiny. And so it's important for everyone to realize that in this time, in this moment, in this year, you've been earmarked for something. You've been earmarked for something greater, something more. It's already written in the stars. It's destiny, it's fate, it's destiny. And so again, this kind of releasing, purging, advancing, turning the page on the past, reaching beyond the veil. You're earmarked for something. And the way it's coming to me right now is you're going to feel it. You're going to know, or you already have an inkling. You can kind of feel it, taste it. Oh, there's something more here. There's something more I'm to do. There's something more I'm going to do. And thereby, it's earmarked. And we are earmarked. I mean, as a whole, as a collective, we are earmarked for something particular. There's a purpose. There's a destiny. Along with this Uranus going direct, Mercury retrograde, but it will go direct, and the full moon and everything, they said expect the unexpected. And of course, if you've been watching the news, we all saw the volcano in the Pacific erupt and so forth. Uranus is in Taurus. The North Node is now in Taurus. We can see these things that are happening, and again, it affects earthly things. So it's going to be tangible. It's going to be something that we can see. And last but not least, with Venus going direct at the end of the month, I heard the word deliverance. And Venus represents beauty, abundance. I mean, these things. And so here is 22, adornment, beauty. And so there's something here on offer. Of course, there's the shadow side, but we're not focused. We're not going there, is the way they're saying it to me. We're not going there. We're focused on beauty, adornment, deliverance. So just stay aligned in that way. It's a lot. There's a lot here to unpack. And I'm gonna turn it over to Jaclyn to bring in the human design insights and everything. You can see with all of this energy, there's a lot here for us. And so walk with grace and ease. Take your time, walk with grace and ease. Be proactive. It's not just sit back and wait, but it's also don't shove and push forward. Don't rush or overstep, because Mercury is retrograde. And so, take your time and be conscientious, mindful, and if you hear, as Jaclyn will say, you know, she says this about the master generator. If it's not giving you like kid in a candy store, she says that it's a no, or it's a not now. It's kind of like that same thing. It's like, if you know to wait, wait. If you know it's a no, it's a no. And if you know that it's a yes, then just listen to, what's the step I can take, or do I need to pause? Do I need to hold? Be patient. Because when it comes full, as Jaclyn and I talked about, March is going to be about marching forward. It's going to be boots hit the ground and we go. So that's where I am. Jaclyn, take it away with the human design. Lots to unpack.
If there is, but you know, I'm smiling the entire time because, so for those of you who don't know, we don't do any preparation. We don't have conversations beforehand. We literally do our own thing, and then we come together, and then we have this beautiful synergy. And I'm smiling because literally James is repeating words that are in my notes. Like, okay, we know this, we cannot make this up, right? So I want to start off by asking a question to bring all of the beautiful information that James has given us, to bring it down and to make it practical, and kind of ask you the question and say, are you passionate about what you are currently doing? Now you can fill in, like, are you passionate about your current relationship? Are you passionate about the career that you're in? Are you passionate about your day-to-day routines or habits? Are you passionate about the conversations that you're having? Are you passionate? So literally ask yourself the question in every area of your life, whether it be spiritual, financial, career, health, wellness. Are you passionate? Am I passionate about what I'm choosing to do, or what I'm choosing to fill my day with, or who I'm choosing to connect with? And then see, listen, feel what comes up for you, right? Don't try to think it through, because remember, one thing about human design, what it teaches us is that none of our decisions, the best decisions that we are designed to make, none of it comes from thinking. It all comes from the body. It comes from dropping out of the mind back into your body, right? It comes from feeling. It comes from intuitively knowing. It comes from that gut response that James so beautifully reminded everyone of, that kid in the candy store feeling. It comes from expressing one's truth, right? So it's not about thinking like, I need to make a list, like, am I passionate about this? Let me make a pro and con list. No, that's thinking it through. Feel it. Ask yourself, am I passionate about this career? Am I passionate about the direction that I'm choosing to go? The reason I'm asking you this question is because the next question might follow up with, do you need some inspiration? Because maybe at the moment you're not passionate about what you're choosing to fill your day with. Maybe you're not passionate about the career that you're in. Maybe you're already starting to get itchy feet and kind of going, maybe I should really start the thing that I've been wanting to start, but maybe I've been putting it on the back burner because it's not perfect, or I'm not ready, or I don't feel confident enough. Maybe I'm not as passionate in the relationship anymore. Maybe there, a conversation needs to be had, or maybe things need to change, right? So if you feel like you aren't passionate, you're missing that passion, you're needing inspiration, this is the time when you're going to be reminded, right? Because with the nodal shift that James was so already talking about, so beautifully talking about, is we've shifted from the gate 20 and 34, which is a generator energy. So for all of my non-sacral beings, me being one of them, projector, I'm super excited that we've shifted out of that energy, because I can actually feel my own energy now for a change. And I can actually I'm like so excited just to go to bed, to actually have like my normal night's sleep, because I haven't been sleeping like my normal patterns for the last 2 months or 2.5 months. So with the shift from 2034 into 14, gate 14 and gate 8, what does that bring us? So that brings us the idea of the fact that we create prosperity by being ourselves. You create abundance, you create success. We all know this, right? We know the truth, laws of attraction, manifestation, we know this. If you don't know this, like, where have you been living? Because everyone literally is talking about this, right? So we know that we're all attracting beings. With this energy, we're reminded that we are really creating prosperity, creating the abundance that we're looking for, creating the wealth by being the highest expression of ourselves. And the way that you really create and attract the abundance that you are looking for, the true abundance. We spoke about this last week, which is that the soul's ambition, your soul's ambition for yourself is bigger than what you can actually anticipate. But there's also a truth in what success actually looks like to you. Not what you've been made to believe or what you see other people attain. It's really kind of reconnecting again. And that's why I started with, are you passionate? Because passion is then going to lead to abundance, to success, right? Because you're creating the prosperity, you're attracting what it is that you desire, what it is that you really desire by being your truth, by being the truest version of yourself, by being the highest expression of yourself. So it's also about looking at, instead of falling into the fears or that limiting beliefs, that lack mentality, checking in to see, I'm not passionate because, like that mind wanting to rationalize. Instead, move into the idea of, what I want to attract is already there waiting for me, and I have the resources that I need right now in my grasp. I have the ability to be resilient. I have the ability to be resourceful. I have the ability to make lemonade out of lemons, quite literally. Everything you have is in front of you. So the idea right now, if you feel like, I don't have this, I don't have the right partner to start, the journey with, or I don't have the right expertise, or that's the limiting, that's the scarcity that all the retrograde planets are really calling up, so that you can then clear, right? So just know, with the gate 14, it is about knowing and understanding that you've got all that you need already here in front of you, with you. You might just need to change the way you think of things. You might need to dig a little deeper and actually step into your power and know, okay, hold on, I can make lemonade out of lemons, right? So again, it's just, another one is just reminding yourself that you have everything that you need. So it's a real beautiful reframe. And I've been catching myself doing this in the beginning as well, because it's so quick to fall into that pattern of, I don't have, but I will when, I'll start that business when, or I'll make that phone call when, or, I wish I had that, but I need this first, right? That's that mindset that's there, that old patterning, that old programming that's keeping you safe. Instead, reframe it and go, hold on, the truth is that I have everything that I need right now. And if it's not in my grasp, it's because I don't need it right now. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of that 14 energy that's coming through, right? That gate 14. So it's all about that material wealth. That's why we started with it. You can feel the energy. The energy is already starting to brew. I love the analogy that James gave with the cauldron. It's like it's already starting to come. You can't taste it just yet because it's a bit hot. It's still cooking away, but you can feel it, you can sense it, you can smell it, right? Live in that vibration. Step into the passion. So I started with the question of what you are passionate, or are you passionate? Are you experiencing passion around certain areas of your life? If you aren't and you're needing inspiration, this is the time to really check in with what is your soul's purpose. Because your prosperity and success is in your purpose. It's what you actually called to do, right? Not what you think you need to do in order to be successful, because success looks like X based on what everybody else thinks. But it's, what is your soul calling you to do? What is the work that you're designed to do? If you're going to stray from that right now, I can tell you from experience, the universe is going to drag you back. Nothing is going to work the way you think it's going to work. And yeah, James laughing in the background because we've had this discussion last week, the week before. If you're going to go back to what's easy, but what you think needs to happen versus what you actually are called to do, that's when you're also going to hit more of a lull. So check in to kind of check in with your passion. Do you feel passionate? Because your passion is going to be a guiding tool that you're living your purpose. Remember, purpose is not a destination. It's a journey. It's the everyday now moment of you being the highest version of yourself. That's your purpose, right? So it's not something that you're reaching. A lot of people are looking for their purpose outside of themselves. Your purpose is within you. Your purpose is, you're living your purpose when you are being you, right? And maybe you're now being called to reconnect with who that actually is. Who am I? Who am I in a relationship? And therefore, this is the relationship that I want. It's not about the other. We spoke about that I think it was last week. It's not about the other, right? It's about yourself. Who am I in a career, in a business? How can I be of service? Can I contribute? Does this business fulfill that desire within my soul, right? It's asking you these big, powerful questions, because when the planets shift again, when the energy shifts again, the end of February, beginning Feb into March, you've got to be ready. You've got to know, I'm living my purpose. I'm passionate. I know where my energy goes. I know how to make decisions based on who I am. I know what's true to me. I'm releasing, and I've already released a lot of patterns and limiting beliefs that are keeping me stuck. Okay. So let me just quickly double check if I've said everything that I wanted to say. Last but not least, it's again just reminding you that your energy is going to give you direction. So that's aligned with your passion. If you have no energy there because you're forcing to do something that you think you need to do versus what you actually are designed, what you actually are called to do, your energy is not going to be there, right? James also gave you a beautiful reminder. Be kind to yourself, be loving to yourself as you go through this process, because remember, we're waiting for the abo to become ripe. But while we're waiting, it's not a passive waiting, it's an active waiting. You're doing the work to remove the blocks, to release the limiting beliefs, to check in with what your passions are, to check in with who you are. Are you living your truth? Are you speaking your truth? Are you moving through fear? Are you dancing with fear? Are you releasing what is no longer serving you? And are you courageously stepping forward in truth, in knowing that you are on the right path? Does it make sense?
Brilliantly so. Brilliantly so. And I'm going to tie this in and take Haley's question, but I loved when you said, if it's not there yet, it's because you have everything you need, and we do. And so that was so brilliant. And this piece about, because the overall theme, when you listen back to the first two shows of this year, of 2022, you're going to hear how this alignment with your true calling, your true purpose, the works plural, meaning your soul, when we do work, it's kind of a drudgery. When we do our soul works plural, it's joy, it's effortless, it's love, it's passion, it's exciting. And that is this alignment with this higher overview. And they were showing me, Jaclyn, as you were speaking about all of that, they were showing me the hamster on the wheel. And and they were like, and the analogy is, this period right now, this kind of retrograde period, before we get to this March where we march forward, it's like being on the hamster wheel. The hamster's doing something. The hamster's not just, it's energy, it's action, it is actionary. It might feel like we're running in place or on a treadmill or something. And yet at some point, the analogy, what they were showing me, the hamster on the wheel, and then all of a sudden it's like wide open spaces. Like all of a sudden you're no longer on this kind of stationary wheel, bike or whatever. It's go time. And you can see how North Node in Taurus and all the planets moving direct, it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, the car's in drive. Boom, off we go. That's what was happening. And you were tying all those things in brilliantly with when that car gets put in drive, when we get taken off the hamster wheel and put forward, it needs to be in alignment with your soul's purpose, your joy, what your true calling is. And so I want to go to Haley's question here, because she was talking about, I'm feeling a bit numb, if that makes sense, and I'm not connecting and feeling very much when I'm meditating, for example. Is this due to the current energy or something, or need to work on? This is exactly what we were just talking about, Haley. So this is the feeling exactly. I said to Jaclyn right before the show, I said, what's so funny? They always give me, the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, always gives me like actionary, forward-moving type information. This week, they weren't. They're giving me a readdress, relook at, and it's this kind of action, but there's a lull. There's a void, there's a lull. It's like, where's the new information? Where's the, hello, I'm listening, I'm meditating, I'm connecting, and the point, so you're not doing anything wrong. Haley, you're experiencing exactly the same thing that I am, which is they're making a point for us to look at these things, revisit things, look at the things that we maybe haven't addressed, cleaned up, need to be aware of, and so forth, so that when we march forward, really truly actionary movement forward, we're in alignment. It's almost, she wrote it and I'm trying to articulate, it's a very funny feeling, Jaclyn. It's that, because there is actionary, it's not about do nothing, and yet our connecting, our list, it's like, it's off, it's delayed, they're wanting us to revisit things before we go forward. So we're not getting quote unquote actionary, go, execute, do it. It's not that, which is what we normally get in a meditation or something. You know what I mean? You get,
Yeah.
you receive in a different way.
I'm so glad you ended off with you receive in a different way, because that's exactly what I've been experiencing with this lullness and Haley, it's probably also the numbness that you're talking about, which is not feeling truly connected in the usual way that you're connected, right? Or connecting. Because remember, there is a reason it's coming up, so that you can shift into the version of yourself that you're designed to be, that you've always been, right? So you're actually clearing out all of this old self and how you identify with this old self, and kind of check in with yourself. Because I'm speaking from now how I've been experiencing it is I've been so used to, I mean, listen, I'm an Aries, I've got innovative numbers in my human design, I've got shock gates of 51, I've got individual energy, so I'm all about go, go, go. Like I'm like I'm the first one on the platform, the first one jumping on the train, and I'm like, okay, let's go, let's make this happen, let's do it. And the universe was like, no, that's great, and there's a time and place for it, but we need you to step into your true power, which is not all about the materialistic go, 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 create, do. It's actually trusting and surrendering in the knowing that it happens anyway by being you. And that's what the message is coming through today so strongly for each and every single one of you. So even though you're feeling the numbness, you're feeling not connected, it's because maybe you're not connected, you're in that in-between, between the old self that's disappearing and that new self that you're stepping into, but you haven't quite fully embodied her yet, right? And that's maybe that feeling that you're feeling where you're like, I normally connect so easily. What's happening? I'm not feeling it. Just allow yourself to feel it, because with all the retrogrades at the moment, all of it's coming up so that you can revisit, relook at the that James was talking about so beautifully, so that you can dive into what is no longer serving you and where you're actually headed, and are you truly ready to really now embody the version of yourself that you designed. I did pull up your chart. What was so beautiful is that you have all of your senses defined, which is very rare as a manifesting generator. So for you understand really the idea of that feeling of energy. Like if you're not feeling the energy, oh wait, hold on, something is really off, because you really embody energy. I mean, all of your senses are defined, which means there's consistent energy flowing through your entire body graph, right? I almost want to kind of say this is an invitation for you to just check in to see, is there something that is coming up because I'm almost detaching or releasing or not experiencing, let me say it that way, not experiencing the usual energy that I normally feel? Is there an opportunity for me where the universe is giving me this time and space to see what I still need to let go of that is hindering me from stepping into the new, into me, into you, right? Does that make sense?
And there's, they're drawing me back, Jaclyn, and this is applicable to everyone. So Haley and everyone that's with the hamster and then the openness. It's like, so they were just saying to me, this energy of enslavement to freedom. Because the analogy, the hamster wheel is like enslavement. We've been in this enslaved matrix, cycle, way of living, way of being. And all of a sudden, it's like, so the hamster is going around. We know what to do. We're doing, it's kind of autopilot, if you will. Okay, But that's about, remember, turning the page on the past. We're turning the page on the past. And the North Node is shifting, and we're shifting, and Uranus, expect the unexpected, is going direct, and Venus is going to go direct, which is tied with deliverance, with beauty. And so it's about this moment, this lull. There's nothing wrong with this lull. The lull is purposeful. So we just have to make peace, be comfortable and make peace with nothing's wrong. I'm just simply meant to be aware, be conscious, like Jaclyn is talking about the gates and the new gates that align with the North Node, and this whole thing about aligning with your soul purpose, and this overview 2022. Everything they're giving us is culminating for us to see that when we march forward, march forward, it's going to be a whole new world. It's going to be this liberty, freedom, this expansive opportunity for us to do so in a manner that is futuristic, that is beautiful from the inside out, that is not enslaved. And thereby, this is a time for us to revisit, reflect, rehear this message. Because that's what I had said to Jaclyn before the show, is they're really pressing me to reiterate this point, that the relationship with self, how you see the world, how you see your interactions, your relationships, how you see things, and the more you're able to see that you've been on the hamster wheel, that we have been on the hamster wheel, and that we are going to be delivered, we're going to be given the open highway, this expansive opportunity to really soar. And there's the, look at, it's Scorpio, right? And, that's the higher octave of Scorpio is the eagle. It's like, what a beautiful analogy of that is that this high overview, this, it's related to the eye of God, the eye of source. So you can see that this is what they're saying. We've been down. It's kind of like, okay, caterpillar, they're giving me caterpillar, butterfly. They're giving us that transformation, that transfiguration of, we're going to go from the hamster on the wheel, the caterpillar, to the open highway, the butterfly, the overview. And we are going to be adorned from the inside out with this kind of incredible insight, beauty, alignment. So, Jaclyn, let's go back and pick up Brigitte.
Yes. So it's just Brigitte. Yes. Before I get to her question, because it's such a beautiful question and it's going to take us in a little bit of a different direction, I want to because I see a lot of you have been commenting to say, like, you don't feel the passion in your work. Like Laurie says, don't feel the passion in the work right now. I'm currently selling my house and I'm ready to live my life's purpose in the work I do. I definitely feel like I'm on a hamster wheel. Everyone's a lot of you are resonating with that hamster wheel, that idea of feeling in the place between enslavement and expansion. Jill says that as well. And then Brigitte also says she can feel the energy bubbling. Amy also says that she has been feeling the urge to push and move forward, but not able to make the move, almost like she's stuck, like I'm stuck. But I like what you both are saying. I stay in gratitude for where I am, and I go over and review what I'm working on. I want to just touch quickly, practically, because this is literally something that I've been doing the last couple of days, is when you are feeling, we're all in this right now, whether you want to be consciously or unconsciously aware of it. Luckily, we are all conscious beings, so we are becoming consciously aware that we're in this transition period of transformation, stepping into the new exciting that is there. We can feel it. For the first time, I can actually say I can feel it. While you're going through this transition and this move, practical things that you can do is give gratitude, which Amy said so beautifully. Give gratitude for the movement, for the shifts, for how much you've grown, for what you've let go of, for you courageously stepping into your truth, for you making the move to decide to sell your business, for you leaving an abusive relationship, for you not self-sabotaging yourself with negative thoughts. Give gratitude and notice all of the little shifts that are starting to take place, because the more you notice them, the more they become present, because they're always there actually. We're just not, consciously becoming aware of them. But the more you consciously become aware of them, the more you're actually creating more of that, because you're lifting your vibration to see what is actually happening versus staying stuck in what you think is not happening, right? So if you really do feel stuck at the moment, just take a moment, take a breath, give gratitude, maybe pick 3 things that you're really grateful for, and start noticing in your life all of the little things that represent abundance that you're looking for, that represent love that you're wanting to attract, that represent nurturing, because there is evidence in every single element of your being, of your life and your environment right now. There is elements of abundance. Maybe a friend decides to give you coffee. That's abundance. Maybe you get an extra amount of change. Maybe you see 2 roses instead of 1. That's all abundance around you. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of remind you about that. Yes, James.
No, sorry, yeah, and I just wanted to add in on that because remember, you're never stuck, you're never lost, you're always somewhere. And it's about us making peace. And so, of course, because when we feel stuck or when we feel lost, it's because, we're obviously in conflict. We have an attachment, or we want to be somewhere, or, like where Amy was saying maybe about feeling like moving, and Lori's talking about the business. And so when you feel stuck or lost, stop and say, okay, I'm not stuck, I'm not lost, I'm somewhere, and then ask, where am I? And make space, make peace with the opportunity to see where you are in that moment, because it'll shift you and you'll be like, oh, okay, the reason I'm feeling stuck is because I'm in conflict. I'm not in peace with having to quote unquote wait a minute. I have to wait. It's not divine time. My plan, the plan. And the minute we do that, and like Jaclyn just said, so maybe it's as simple as, okay, and so when you listen, you'll be able to say, okay, source, okay, soul, okay, symphony, tell me, what is it I can do in this moment? So now I know where I am. I'm in conflict. I'm not making peace with myself. That's where I am. Ah, boom. Okay, now I know where I am. So I'm not stuck. I'm not lost. I know where I am now. Okay, now what? And they'll tell you. They might say something like, go color. And that seems silly, right? It can sound silly. But that coloring, that being childlike, reconnects you to peace. It reconnects you to your soul. It reconnects you to your creative flow, your creativeness. And that starts to expand you. So now I'm everywhere. See, instead of being contracted and frustrated and stuck and annoyed, now I'm getting expansive. Now I'm getting into a flow. And then it will come to you, okay, the next thing I need to do, make that call. Like Jaclyn said, it's not about waiting. I have everything I need in the moment. But if we block ourselves because we want to be 20 or 1,000 paces forward, well, now it's all too big and we're not where we want to be and everything's horrible and now I'm lost and I'm stuck and it's a downward spiral. Flip the script. We flip the script. And this kind of goes into Brigitte's question. With the comment from James, don't sit back and wait. But if my human design is to wait for the invitation, how does that work? Would the invitation be from my astrology? So, Jaclyn, why don't you take it first, and I'll follow.
Yes, love that question. Thank you. That is probably the first thing that I thought of when I found out that I was a projector. So a projector strategy is literally wait for an invitation. It literally says wait for an invitation. And as I previously mentioned, I'm the last person that enjoys waiting for anything. Like, patience was not something I was born with. Well, maybe it was, like my soul was born with it, but my human experience came here to remember that I'm actually a patient being, because I've had to learn how to become patient, right? So when you're thinking, if you're a projector, your strategy is waiting for an invitation. But I want to remind you that it's not a passive waiting, like sitting, Netflixing and chilling and kind of hoping that everything falls into place, right? It's the idea, I almost want to reframe the idea of waiting, because I want to choose a better word, and I haven't quite figured out what the word wait, like what could take, like replace the word waiting for an invitation. With that strategy, it's all about recognizing your own gifts, recognizing your own value, and recognizing where you feel called to share that value, share that gifts, share that knowledge, where you feel called to guide, right? The invitation part is there to protect your unique energy, because as a projector, remember, you don't have that sacral center defined. A lot of the population has that sacral center defined, which means they have consistent access to energy. It's like their plug is plugged into charge 24/7. As a projector, you don't have your plug plugged into charge 24/7. You've got a unique amount of energy that allows you to be very productive, and that allows you to be able to know, ooh, I can't just give my energy away freely to everybody that I can see I want to help, but hasn't actually given me the invitation, because that's going to create energy portals or energy leaks, right? That's how you're going to feel drained. You're going to feel frustrated. You're going to feel bitter. You're going to feel burnt out at the end, because you're not utilizing that energy. So when you're thinking of, again, your strategy, it's encouraging you to recognize what you are good at, recognize where you feel guided to guide, where you feel invited to guide, when you feel invited to share what it is that you know, because that is part of your purpose, right? As a projector, you're here to guide, you're here to advise, you're here to, your success is in how much you know, it's in who you are, it's not how much you do. That's also a very, very big reframe for a projector. So instead of falling into the trap of saying, oh, hold on, I'm waiting for the invitation, acknowledge what you're good at, acknowledge what lights you up. Obviously, as we can dive deeper into your charts, and you can start seeing, okay, are you designed to investigate? Like, are you a natural investigator? Are you a natural networker? Are you a person who goes through the experiences, right? It can come up in your chart. But for you, the invitation can come, whether it be a person actually inviting you, please, I need your expertise, or please, would you come with me here? Or it could be an energetic invitation. It could be an invitation where you just know, like, oh, yes, this feels good. Like, I really do feel like it's the right time for me to share my views or my knowledge. Or, oh, yes, this is the right time for me to dive into this collaboration, or make the change, or shift my business, or move here, right? So the invitation is going to come from like a physical invitation, what we know as an invitation, and it's also going to be coming from an energetic invitation. But reframe the word wait, because it's not waiting like nothing's going to happen. It's you be you. You go do what lights you up. You go follow your passion and your purpose, right? And then know and understand where are you feeling called and are getting the invitation to actually give your energy and your time away, so that you don't create those energy leaks. Does that make sense? So it's not the waiting. It's more like recognizing, and then being invited, or recognizing the invitation, and then tuning in for yourself and saying, oh, is this the right invitation? Because also with projectors, sometimes the invitation is not necessarily the right one. So it's making sure that you're aligned and you're actually following your inner authority, whatever that may be, whether it be emotional, you've got to wait for clarity, or whether it be splenic, you feel it in the moment, it's intuitional ping, oh, yes, this is right for me. Okay, so just reframe the idea of waiting, because it's not a waiting, it's a passive, it's active waiting. It's not a passive waiting. You're going to get busy being you, while protecting and honoring your energy, and knowing that you're going to receive an invitation, because that's going to be the way forward for you to take action. Makes sense? Let us know.
And what's so interesting, Jaclyn, about that, because as you were sharing all of that, and I was tuning into Brigitte, I kept seeing this wonder. It's like it's shutters. It's a pair of like a window shutters, and it's and they're like louvering, open, shut, open, shut. And the analogy here, Brigitte, is that the waiting is external, right? It's an invitation. It's something that's coming to you. So that means that it's an external energy. It's an external focus. So it doesn't mean to, as Jaclyn just said, it doesn't mean to just sit back and do nothing. When let's say when the invitation isn't, so the shutters are quote unquote shut, that means it's internal. So that time, that energy, your focus, all of it should be internal. Internal meaning, as Jaclyn just articulated, what are the things that light you up? What is it that your soul is to do? The focus is on you. Then, when the shutter opens, an invitation arrives. It's an opportunity to engage or put that out or in concert with others. And then when that completes itself or recedes or whatever, the shutter closes and it comes back to the focus is on you. Because if it's always external, if you're deriving your light from the invitation, then it's going to feel like you're always waiting because you're waiting for everybody. It's an external thing. Instead of, oh no, I'm my own light. I'm my own shadow. You're like they're showing me the moon. You're the moon. The moon has its phases, but she operates whole and complete. And so it's for you to hone the skill or to Mercury, retrain your brain, refocus yourself to see that it's your light. Just because the shutter is closed, meaning there's not an invitation, doesn't mean that you're not on. It just means that the externalness part isn't, the invitation hasn't come. But that doesn't mean that you aren't fully whole and capable of being everything you need to be for you. Mm-hmm. And what you share or when you get an invitation may have nothing to do with what you're working on, or it might be absolutely intrinsic. It might, and again, divine time, divine. So that's the analogy they were giving me, this beautiful thing of, because if you're waiting for the invitation, your focus is outward. But if you know the invitations come, they come at their divine time, your internal focus is on you and what you're bringing and shining and creating and experiencing. And then when the invitations come, they're in addition to, they're extra. It's not as if you're waiting or lacking because there's no invitation. They're in addition to. Let us know if that resonates with you.
Doesn't it bring up the idea for you as well of the control? Because there's like that element of, and it doesn't matter, even if you're not a projector type, for all of us, that idea of control. Now, I think one thing that January has really taught me is to release control, because you're not in control. Like the only thing you can really control is your emotions, or not even your emotions, your emotional responses or your responses. Let me put it that way, right? But it's like we're all looking for direction. And the whole topic of today's discussion was the idea that we're in the in-between of letting go, stepping forward, releasing, manifesting, like we're in that in-between, right? And with that comes the release of control. It's the control of how you think it needs to pan out, or who you think you need to be versus who you are, or how you think you need to act, or what you think you need to do versus how you actually attract, how you actually manifest, how you actually be, So it's that it really is, it resonates so true when you were speaking. I was just like, whoa, let go of control. It's like a reminder for each and every single one of us. When we're wanting to think it, that's our ego self wanting to control. Control for a reason. Control to keep us safe, control to keep us comfortable. I mean, it's, that's how physiologically we were designed. But the idea is the universe is really holding us and saying, if you can let go of the control, and if you can really just be the highest expression of yourself, which is living in passion each and every moment, or as much as possible throughout the day until it becomes second nature. If you can really think positive thoughts about yourself, about your life, and release all of the negative, if you can be kind to the process, if you can just be open to the surprise, if you can know that you don't have to do anything, but you just have to be, juice. Like, so excited.
And look at how that, Jaclyn, the higher octave of control is trust. So what we're really saying, what the universe is really saying to us is, trust us, align with us, lead with your soul. Mercury, mind. Mercury is the mind. Uranus, the higher octave of Mercury, is the oneness. It's expect the unexpected. And so yes, it's about, we have to relinquish, you don't have to do anything. The way to, the way through, the opportunity that Jaclyn is articulating, when you release control, what you're really saying to yourself is, I trust myself. I trust source. I trust my soul source connection because I'm feeling it. I can see it. Enslavement to freedom, to expansion. It's like going from enslavement to expansion. And in order to do that, because they're laughing, he just laughed, enslavement to expansion. And they're like, can you imagine if we just pulled the ripcord and went, oh yeah, enslavement, expansion. And they're laughing in my head and going, oh my gosh, you guys would lose your minds. And so here's this, right? It'd be like spinning tops, bumping bumper cars, bumping it. Oh my God, what do we do? Wham, wham, wham. And I'm laughing in my head because they're laughing. And I'm laughing going, right. So this is why we have this, we're turning the page of the past, right? Well, of course, simultaneously what happens? The new is arriving, the old is receding and leaving. So the enslavement is ending, the expansion is arriving. So we're getting these cross currents, Haley. There's those cross currents of like, and it feels like there's kind of like this void. I'm not here. I can feel it. It's Jaclyn. I can feel it, but I'm not hearing because they're going, in this little lull period we're giving you between kind of January and March, it's our transition time. It's our it's like we're going to transfer over or transition over. And so they're giving us that ability to kind of acclimate, realize that, get a higher view, come into alignment with yourself, trust, release control. You're not lost. You're always somewhere. We got you. They're like, oh, boo, we got you.
And if your brain is telling you, but what am I supposed to do? Because that was one of the big things for me. What am I supposed to do, James and Jaclyn? Like, I'm in this lull. Like, it's all good and well to surrender, but what am I supposed to do? Just that idea of doing is a mindset that needs to be shifted. But also, what I can tell you, what I did was do the work. The work meaning I tapped, I journaled, I meditated, I was conscious of my thoughts. I started living the way that I wanted to live, knowing that that's what I wanted to attract. So let me live it now. You know what I mean? Not be happy when, or feel love when, or feel free when. It's going, how can I feel free now? How can I enjoy life now? How can I express and embody love now? How can I feel abundant now? That's the work. That's the doing. So if you're feeling like your brain wants to say, but I want to do, that's the doing. And it feels so good when you truly start, you like walk on this path and you're like a kid in a can. Like, that's the best analogy ever because everybody knows what that looks like. But you're literally like a kid in the candy store for the first time going, ooh, like sweeties. Like, I can't touch them yet, but I know they're there and I can kind of see them. Maybe they're hidden behind glass and like jars or whatever the case is, but it's literally that feeling of like, ooh, the universe, life has got so much waiting for me.
And there's this piece too of the doing, like you just articulated. When you were talking about the doing, all of those things are for me about being. You are being. And that's really, when you get overwhelmed with what do I do? Be. Because what Jaclyn just did, even though that's quote unquote doing, it's being. She was being with herself, reconnecting with herself, bringing herself into alignment, bringing herself into harmony, peace. I mean, as Jaclyn may know, not others, I've been sick for 2 weeks. And I look at this, this head sinus thing and whatever, and I'm laughing because as much as no one likes being sick, I don't think, but I certainly don't. However, what has it done? It's slowed me down. It has been that piece where I just had to be. And then the joy is that I'm here with my family and everything. And so those are joys, those are priceless. That time, so even though yes, you may be, and look at even the being sick is about purging. It's about releasing things, purging things, and so forth. And so it slows us down because they're wanting us, like they said, it would be bumper cars if we just pulled the ripcord and off you all went. Well, they're giving us a nice, an easy transition is the way that, they're showing me like an ice pond or ice skating. It's, to ice skate takes a little takes a little effort and talent. It takes grace and ease and so forth. It's not like roller skating, four wheels versus a blade. It's very much like that. So be kind. Be kind with yourself and others. Be willing to look at the past, to release it. Be willing to see your relationships with yourself, with the way you see things, with the way you experience things, with the way you believe things. Be willing to see, because again, you're going to be given a higher octave, a higher opportunity to see, and you're going to go from enslavement to expansion. You're going to go from the hamster wheel to the open highway. And you want to do that, as Jaclyn said, with knowing how, knowing in this alignment, this, like, oh, I get this. I understand how to do this. As opposed to you're dragging old baggage around or something and you're like, why am I dragging that with me? I don't need that.
Let's set an intention, James, for everyone here that's listening and also that's going to be watching the replay. Let's all set an intention, because this is a beautiful space that we're creating. We're all there's a coherence that is flowing between the two of us, between all of you that are listening, that are watching. Drop in the comments what it is that you're wanting to embody for this next week. So whether it be love, drop a heart. Whether it be money, drop some money, like a money emoji. Whether it be a relationship, drop a heart. Whether it be health, drop a apple or a plant. Whether it be magic, drop like that magic symbol. Drop in the comments one thing that you are wanting to really intend for your life for the next week. But while taking all of the practical tips that myself and James gave you, let's all intend together. I'm actually going to do it as well while we talk about this. But it's literally like we're going to intend what it is that we're wanting to embody more of in the comments. And we're going to make it fun because I love emojis.
I love emojis. I'm looking for mine right now. I'm like, where's the emoji that I want? And I'm like, here I'm having to search through to find the one that I want.
So I've dropped all of my emojis in. So drop your emojis in. Let us know what it is that you're intending with us. Drop them in the comments. And as we wrap up the show, as we get all of your hearts, Beth is wanting health and she's wanting, I'm assuming, meditation or connection and love. Jessie wanting love. So I want to see all of those emojis coming in while we end the show. We want to introduce something super exciting to you guys that we finally got the invitation for. James, do you want to go ahead?
Sure. So as Jaclyn and I have come together and everything, so we're going to be obviously continuing our wonderful Wednesdays. We love these. And so we're going to continue to be sharing weekly energies and taking your questions live and answering from an intuitive and human design aspect and everything. And then we are going to be we're going to launch a new show on Thursdays called Science and the Soul. And so it will be a show where Jaclyn and I do different topics and or featured guests and so forth. And it'll be everything from wellness, spirituality, goodness, all of this and different things to share and expand so that it becomes basically a resource. That the topics that we share or the guests that we have on will have something that we believe will be of benefit and wellness for all of you and for all of us. So we're super excited to be announcing the launch of the Thursday show that will be called Science and the Soul.
So exciting! Like I'm so excited. So now we're having a Wednesday, like what was it was a Wonderful Wednesday. What was the Wonderful Wednesday.
Wonderful
Laurie
Wednesday.
said Wonderful Wednesday. So we've got Wonderful Wednesday, and now we're gonna have something Thursday. Like we're gonna fill in what that word looks like. Thursday. So we're gonna have a Wednesday show and a Thursday show live with you guys. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. And as always, just the end of the show, if you feel called to dive deeper, either getting your intuitive guidance with Dear James or diving deeper into your human design with me, we do have a combination offer that we're giving to you guys. It's a 50-50 where you get intuitive guidance one-to-one with Dear James, and you get human design guidance one-to-one with myself, the Lady Jaclyn. We're going to leave the link in the description box below or above, wherever you're tuning in from. Go have a look-see at what that looks like, and remember that that's where we also dive deeper with you. We hold space for you, and you are guaranteed to get some level of transformation should you actually implement all the advice and guidance that your soul is yearning for. We love you guys. I'm loving all of the emojis. This is absolutely incredible. James, do you want to end things off?
Yes, just to say to the Lady Jaclyn, it's always an honor and a privilege. I absolutely love you. And to everyone listening, we love you all so much. And the space is just rich, rich, rich for us. And please, share in the comments things that you would like us to discuss or cover, topics and things like that. And also a beautiful shout out to I Must Be a Mermaid for sharing our show post and everything. Thank you so much. All of this. So if you know, as Jaclyn has said before, if you know people that would benefit, please spread the word, share the posts, and share the love with everyone. And we thank you so much for spending your time with us and choosing to spend your time with us. And we look to be of service in any way we can. So thank you all. We love you all. And we will see you. Be back next Wednesday. And then again Thursday. Exactly. And Thursday.
Double whammy.
And
2022, we started with that double. Double.
Double.
So this is the double.
So just a beautiful shout out. Love you all. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
You've been listening to Dear James Live. Gain intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions and so much more by tuning in next week and visiting DearJames.com.